Hey everybody, welcome to Raising Vibrations, and this is Simon speaking for another video. And as you can see, I'm pretty inspired at the moment. I'm creating a lot of content, and I'm pretty excited to be talking about this one today specifically because there's the astrology, which is, this planet is going to do this and that energy is going to do that, and then there's the human experience. So this video goes in connection with Mars in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, and also Saturn's direction, right? In other words, Saturn going direct on the 6th of September, which I have uploaded a video on that. Okay, this is not specifically time sensitive. This is a video I think everybody can use at some point in their life. Well, always, to be honest, if you're really working with the healing dynamic that is our existence at the moment. So let me just give you a little bit of a heads up as to what this video is about, so that if you are feeling the mood for it, then watch it. If you're not, please save it, because it is going to be something that I feel really inspired about, but it's not a structured conversation, okay? It's just me really pouring out inspiration and sharing what it is that I feel is inspired and, important at this point. So we're going to be talking about emotional connection. Okay, that's why that picture is on the screen at the moment. At the end of this year, the nodes of the moon are going to be going from Leo and Aquarius to Cancer Capricorn. Now, I need to remind everybody that we live in a world that is very influenced by this idea of me, this is my creation, this is my existence, this is my trajectory. There's a lot of sort of self-orientated possessiveness that exists. And this is not something that you should blame yourself for. This is not something that is something you can do about completely. It is the fabric of the conditioning field that the planetary nodes provide to us. Okay, you're part of the program. The world, the collective consciousness is like this. And your brain just literally absorbs it and digests it and creates neural pathways that allows you to perceive reality through this conditioning field. Okay, this Leo Aquarius axis had a lot to do with self-creation. This is what I'm here for. I'm here to create myself. I'm here to write my book. I'm here to put myself on the internet and talk about these wonderful things. We're all doing it, including myself. But when the nodes move into Cancer Capricorn, understand something very clearly, okay? The energy is going to be very different, all right? It's going to be deeply emotional. It's going to be deeply inward. It's going to be inwardly reflective. You're going to feel restriction. You're going to feel the collective's emotions. These are themes that are going to take place for us when these nodes shift. And if you're somebody that is sort of not really accustomed to this type of frequency, to this type of energy, it's going to be a little bit rough, You're going to really, we're going to be brought into our bellies. We're going to be brought into the solar plexus where all our emotional dynamics exist. And we're going to have to deal with those feelings. And one of the ways that I can get everybody to connect to this is remember 2 points. One, when Jupiter transited Cancer, okay, in 2014, and every single year, now I'm just trying to think of the exact date when this takes place, the sun moves into Cancer. It's roughly around, so sun moves into Cancer in June. I would say around about between the 10th and, no, not even, about 7th and 15th of July are periods of time where there is a specific intensity around emotions coming to the surface, the spirit of emotions being evoked within us, and it affects us, right? We feel being rocked because we live in a world where our minds want to keep everything structured, right? Our minds want to keep everything organized. And when there is disturbances in our routines, when there's disturbances in the functioning of what we relate to emotionally, all of you know, I can go on, the list can go on. There are feelings of, oh my God, this day was really, really shitty. This day was uncomfortable. All right. Because we don't generally, as a collective society, deal with our feelings, right? Everybody that's watching this video on some level, okay, including myself, because this video is to myself as well. This is not me telling you what I think and me being the guru type person. I'm actually taking my own advice over here. It's part of the inspiration that came from this, that's coming from this conversation. And we don't work with those emotions. We don't integrate it. Okay. Now, like I said, for you that are watching this, you're like, oh, I really want to do this. You know, I practice this. I am actively wanting this. And that's what probably attracts you to this video and feels like this is going to be deeply nourishing for you. You know, I want you to feel nourished from this video. So we're sitting here with this complex, right? Everybody understands what I'm talking about. I'm talking about working with emotions, working with the feelings that come up for us and allowing them to be released, working through the fears that we have. And ultimately, which is what this video is going to end off with, is how do I, as in you, as in me, every single day for at least 1 hour, okay? I'm not saying to you that you have to do this. I encourage you to do it, but for 1 hour, but do it for the whole day if you can. Practice just working by taking your mouth and your language and connecting it to the sensations and feelings you have as you enter each moment, okay? So this is how it goes. It's super weird, but it works. It's very profound, it's beautiful, and it helps us connect the disconnect that has taken place between our tummies and our bellies and our feelings and our mental state, because we live predominantly in the mental realm, okay? And what we do is we go, I'll give you an example of my own personal experience. Yesterday, I noticed that I was wanting to record some of the astrology school material, but life was kind of just, you know, pulling me in different directions. And instead of being like, oh, I'm frustrated with this experience and getting angry and, you know, blaming life for it, I went, I'm frustrated. I'm frustrated right now, and acknowledging it, going like, hey, right now I'm frustrated and I feel sad. I feel sad because I really am excited to record this material, but things are pulling me in different directions and it's not something that I want. Even if those emotions, even if life is saying, hold on, but there's something over here that I want you to see first before you go ahead and do that, which is exactly what happened, we can allow ourselves to connect with how we're feeling presently in that moment. And the more that we nurture that, the more that we take language, words, and we connect it with the sensations, and we begin to then multiply our awareness of the feeling that's arising for us, we're going to get a couple of things happen for us, okay? One, we're going to get an opportunity to really connect with a space within us that has been cut off due to the nature of our evolutionary progression, okay? The path that we as a collective have been on, and the truths and the laws that we have to live within, and all of the things that we have constructed as human beings in the old paradigm that never supported this way of being, okay? We want to come back to that place. We want to nurture it. And so we want to nurture that connection. We want to get softer in our bellies, yeah? So as we allow ourselves to identify this feeling, we get, like I said, that connection. We begin to nurture it. We begin to allow ourselves to feel what we really feel in the moment, and we can then verbalize that. It also then does what this picture is doing over here, which is it's mirroring our inner reality, right? Our emotions are the doorway to the soul, okay? They're the doorway to the soul because the soul obviously created an existence for us in order for us to experience whatever evolutionary growth we want. This is why evolutionary astrology is such a powerful tool when seen from this perspective, because as everybody can really understand, you can't just like instantly teleport to another place physically, okay? There's restrictions, there's boundaries, you're bound to a place. You can get on an airplane and travel to a place, but when you get there, you're either doing two things. One, you're going there because you're going on holiday, or two, you're going there to integrate And when you recognize that what integration means, you go, oh, okay, well, I can't just get into another culture and then start being as friendly and comfortable and interactive and empowered here, right? It just doesn't work. That's why Uranus, the south node of Uranus in Sagittarius, is such a big trauma for us collectively, because of the collective displacement that's taken place, which is, again, one of the reasons as to why we've been emotionally cut off. So it's the inner reflection, right? It's the moon, which is Cancer, and it's the Capricorn archetype, Saturn, and the inner and outer relationship dynamics, right? How do we identify ourselves, right? It's super, super profound when you sit with this for a while and you sit and digest what I'm talking about here. And you identify that, for most of us growing up, before 2000 and the year 2000, a lot of the life has been, this is a gender role, this is an identity, you fit that role. And if you're sort of not in that role in a natural way, then you feel uncomfortable, but you have to kind of just align yourself with that. But you know inside of yourself that this is not comfortable for you. This is not really who you are or what you are. But we meet these identities, and this is a collective experience. Society went, we need to get to a place where we all meet at this point every single day, and we fill out these chores. And by doing these chores, we can create a structure that supports us, right? And most of the time, this has been done through an external authority, and the list can go on in terms of how deep this really goes. The point here being is that this way of life has brought us to not knowing what we really feel and how we really want to be, because we've needed to repress that. What do you think using alcohol is? What do you think using narcotics is? And disassociative things and techniques. The mobile telephone is an example, right? How many of us go to bed at night and we go, okay, look, this is the point here, right? I'm going to step on some people's toes. I don't want to be judging, but what I do want to say is we have free will to be whoever they want, right? As long as we just don't complain about other people influencing that. If you make a choice and that choice affects your life, it's not other people to blame, it's you, right? That's just how it works, if you want that free will. Alternatively, what you can do is you can say, okay, look, it's very healthy for me to follow certain patterns, routines, Virgo, that allows me to cultivate soul experiences, i.e. healthy patterns of living. And one of the healthy patterns of living is to allow yourself no screen time before you go to bed, okay? Specifically because what you want to be doing is you want to be spending that space when it's quiet, when it's still, connecting with what the day was like for you. You don't have to do this every single day. I don't do it every single day, but it's a very profound practice that allows yourself to recognize how you felt in the day, right? And progressively, as we keep doing this, we come deeper into our emotions. We come deeper into the place that is what our soul wants us to experience, right? So today, for instance, let me talk about this. Before I created this video, I was going through I was noticing a lot of feelings of pressure, a lot of feelings of stress, a lot of feelings like I got to get things done. And this is because I have an open route in my design. But what I noticed around the emotion when I was feeling that was trauma. And it was trauma because I myself know I need a lot of space between creating things to really get calm, to really get grounded, to really get sort of settled into something. And when I'm settled in something, then I can actually create quite a lot and I can be very, productive. But for the last 3 years, 5 years, with having little small children, you don't get a lot of that. And what I noticed was feelings of, oh, I've got to hurry because I know that if I don't get this done right now, the day might not actually, exist in the way that I would like it to be, because there's a lot of things pulling at my attention that I don't want to do. So I notice myself feeling frustrated. I feel sad. I notice the sadness permeates into becoming a little bit resentful maybe on some things. It takes a lot of courage to acknowledge feelings inside of yourself. But when you can really, really get to that place and you can allow that to be fully present with yourself, including the things like, oh my God, there's so much excitement in right now. I'm feeling super excited to share this. I'm excited to see what comments you have. You know, I'm excited to hear if somebody that's watching this video goes, you know what, Simon, thanks very much for that. And I'm going to attempt to do this and let's see what happens as an example, right? I'm curious to know, you know, I'm identifying how I feel, and the deeper identification I can get, the more authentic I can be. And this is the point here. It's like, you know, there's so much talk about authenticity in the world. There's so much talk about, you know, wanting to follow my path. And then the problem is it's still a mental trip for a lot of people that are trying to digest it. And it's because the core component that exists within this dynamic, within this being authentic, being real, and so on, is acknowledging that, you know what, sometimes I have a layer of shame over there. Maybe I don't want to do that because I feel shameful and it feels disempowering. And I recognize that that shame might have come through a trauma from an early life, you know, and that affects it. It's about really, really getting to the core of the feeling. It's getting to the core of what was there, unwinding it, pulling it out, and saying, this is what I really am. And in each moment we can change, you know, depending, you know, some of you that are into human design will understand that there is a solar plexus center that is open completely, you know, so you're very, very open to receiving different ways in which emotions can be expressed. And one of the trips that your mind has convinced you is that if I don't tell people, if I don't confront people, or if I don't cause any emotional chaos, or if I just, you know, be the little good person, then I won't rock the boat of other people's emotions, and then I will feel okay in myself. And so let's just avoid emotions completely. You know, that's the type of stuff that's been preventing you from really getting in touch with, hold on, I have a choice. If I'm feeling an emotional wave, as an example, I can go, do I really want to be on this wave and feel and see what anger is about? Because I can witness anger, I can feel it, or I can step away and say, I don't need to be on this wave, and move along. Okay? It's like empowering us by recognizing our inner landscape. And that's what this is about. That's why this picture that I chose, this moving imagery, was so sort of connected to this conversation, because it's a mirror. And the mirror is an outward inward, yin and yang, the as above, so below. Authenticity comes from being whole. It comes from allowing us to acknowledge all of our emotions in the moment and recognize these sensations and saying, I'm super excited right now because I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to releasing this video. I'm looking forward to the people saying, hey, I got something out of this, you know? It's that feeling of potential. And the deeper you get into that, the deeper you recognize, you know what, I really like experiencing excitement around a new beginning. I really like experiencing feedback from people feeling as if they got something out of it. I really like that. And you notice things about yourself. And here's the drop. Here's the drop. Number 3. Okay. Pisces. How many of you have got South Node in Pisces, South Node in the 12th house, you know, got lots of Virgo in your chart, and so on and so forth? How many of you have grown up in a world, Pluto in the 12th house, Venus in the 12th house, anything that's Piscean, and you never really got the opportunity to get in touch with your ego, right? Get in touch with the personality. Who are you? You know, what are you all about? What is your excitement? What is your creative intelligence? How many of you have watched that other video and contemplated what it means to really connect with creative intelligence for you? You know, I can only talk for myself because I'm the only person here that can, you know, validate that for me. But for me, creative intelligence is the sharpness to recognize the needs of people. It's the sharpness to recognize, where do I see people empowered and disempowered? And how do I feel moved to say, hey, by the way, I investigated this. I saw something over here. Would you like to, you know, are you interested in having a perspective on this? Maybe that could help you. You know, I recognize there's a need there. It's very strong in me. Where my creative intelligence doesn't exist is logical patterns of the future and understanding concepts of the past. They are profound to me. I get them. That's why I use evolutionary astrology, because it's something that's outside of myself that has formed from somebody else's creative intelligence that when I've merged with, I can understand. But the core of my work is not an astrologer. That's why I don't do it in that way. And if you watch this video, this is all about, hey, I recognize that when I've gone out there into the world and I listen to people, I absorb what people are sharing and talking about, I recognize one thing: the feeling of absence of what is my potential? What is my creativity? What is authenticity to me? What is my identity? You know? And so me having my own personal experience yesterday, amongst others, came to a realization of saying, you know what, I'm going to share this. And by sharing it, can you feel the vibration of me? Can you feel the level of passion that comes off myself, the excitement? That's what's the driving force. But I know that because of this process, because of what I'm sharing with you today, getting in touch with that ego, developing that ego, learning to create attachment to your ego. But the only way to create attachment to your ego is to get into your feelings and acknowledge what feelings you have every single day. And over a period of time, watch what happens. Like, you know, yesterday it was Jennifer's birthday. So we went out to you know, go and celebrate that. And I was like, oh, I feel really excited about this. I feel excited. And why do I feel excited is the question. And I recognize because it's something new. It's a new environment. It's something different. And it's an opportunity to socialize, you know, talk about some things, hang out with the people. And it's like, oh, I actually really enjoy hanging out with people in a kind of environment that's very social. And I like that. It brings me joy. Okay. Do you see what I'm talking about here? That inner acknowledging those feelings, recognizing them, getting to the core of it allowed me to really access what I feel excited about. And we do that, you know? And with Saturn moving direct now on the 6th of September and Mars in Capricorn, it's all in that dynamic of inward reflection. Okay, what awakens you? Some days you're going to be moody, right? I don't wake up in the morning with a big smile on my face. I go, oh, I love to sleep so much. My body loves to sleep so much. And it will take me an hour to wake up. I don't think anybody in my entire life has ever woken me up with a big smile on my face and gone like, hey, how are you doing? It's more along the lines of, the sun is here. And I'm being honest. And the reason why I don't like waking up in the morning is because to me, the evening is the best time because it's stillness. I love stillness. You know, when everything's calm and people are like just chilled out and, you know, there's no chaos and people are not running around with their mental trips doing whatever they're doing. It's like, it's just still and I can feel my vibration. I can feel the calmness in me. I love it. So for me, I'm like, it's afternoon, woohoo! And people that want to manifest and want to go out there and create things and, you know, wake up the next day, they'll be like, whoop, like my daughter, for instance, she wakes up and she's like, ah, the sun is here. And it's time to now just like jump into reality and do things. Whereas I'm the opposite, you know? Okay. That is my little ramble over. I hope that you got lots out of this video. As always, like I shared with you before, write in the comments, share with me what you experienced. And until the next video, have a fantastic time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.